Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. So let's go ahead and talk about how the date went. Here we go. So I woke up at around 7:30 this morning, which for me is early. Got up, greeted my mom, sat down with her, and I said, "Hey, we should eat breakfast." And so we did. She made an omelet with peas in it. Now, peas in an omelet sounds like a weird call, I'm not going to lie, but it was actually surprisingly good. Really good, in fact. So shout out to the peas. Underrated in omelet space. Then I went into my room, turned on the television, and, well, let's just say I started watching stuff like heck. First video was this guy making a tier list of different UFO researchers ranked by how much influence they have in the field, which is a funny concept for a tier list when you think about it. Then after that, I watched a guy complaining about Sony's response to the whole physical media thing. And basically, their response boiled down to, "We hear you, we just don't care." They didn't say that out loud, obviously, but that's what it was. That's the message. Then after that, I put on the entire Digital Foundry Direct at 2x speed, and while that was going on, I was also playing a game through PS Play, remote play streaming, from my PlayStation 5 to my phone. The game was Yuka Replayly, and somewhere in the middle of all that, I started getting this real sense of fatigue and overwhelm, like just too much sensory stuff coming at me at once. So I put the phone away, stopped the remote play, and just watched the video, which honestly, that helped. Then I found another video. This one was a conspiracy video about missing scientists, and it's centered on this lady, Amy Eskridge, talking about a calamity happening in the late 2020s where only two groups of humans survive. You've got the rich who go live in the bunkers, and then you've got the poor who somehow just miraculously make it through. And a big part of it was this asteroid called Apophis, and that's supposed to graze the Earth by 2029 on Friday the 13th. I forget which month. So around then, I got up, made some coffee, put a little milk in it, and 1 equals, since I'm coming off a fast, I'm trying to watch my calories while keeping my body pulling fuel from ketones instead of glucose. Used the restroom, and before I went back into my room, I asked my mom if we could go on a walk around 10:30, and she said yes. So hold that thought because I'm going to come back to that. Then I went back in and clicked on another Amy Eskridge video, but this time I read the comments, and a lot of people were saying they think she may have been in the early stages of schizophrenia. And I'll be honest with you, I used that to calm myself because that apocalyptic stuff had genuinely gotten in my head, and I was kind of sitting there hoping she was just unwell. So I clicked away from that, and I found this video called Bionicle Pohatu Mach V114, 50 years in the making, from a channel called Little Brotherhood Studios. And these guys have been working on this Bionicle project for an incredibly long time, designing unique mocks for each of the Toa characters, and this one was all about Pohatu and showing off these really cool designs. And it made me think, man, this guy would make a great director or creative consultant if Lego ever decided to revitalize that franchise and actually do it right. Focus on the mystery, the cool environments, that steampunk complex style of the characters. Get the fans who loved this thing in the first place to come in and consult or even take charge. Now, I know you have to consider that sometimes fans are blindsided by their own fandom and don't really know how to tell a good story. That's what happened with Star Wars and Dave Filoni, where he's a fan, sure, but he ended up focusing on all the superfluous stuff about Star Wars instead of just making a good story. And then you look at a show like Andor, where the guy who made it isn't a big Star Wars fan at all. He just wanted to make a unique show with a unique premise, and it happened to be set in that universe. And that's why it's one of the best pieces of Star Wars media since the Disney buyout. Because of that little oversight, the creative team got to do just whatever they wanted. And a lot of Star Wars fans will say, well, it's a good sci-fi show, it's just not a good Star Wars show. But maybe that's exactly what Star Wars needs. Because fans are the most blinded of all. They look at something and go, "Oh my gosh, it's Star Wars, so it should be what I expect it to be." And so they refuse to accept anything different or outside their comfort zone. And when something like Andor shows up, they think it must be bad because it isn't what they wanted, even though it's actually good compared to a lot of the generic, uninteresting stuff coming out of that franchise. Anyways, tangent aside. So that's where I was at. Um, and after watching that video in particular, I decided to go ahead and get up out of my room. I was a half hour late from all of that walk. So I asked my mom, "Hey, want to go on that walk?" So we did. It was a good time. We enjoyed ourselves very much. And after we returned, I was really hot and sticky. I was ready to go take a shower. So I did. And when I got out, I was surprised by this amazing boiled cauliflower with boiled eggs that our family friend made for me and my mom. It was very good, very delicious and tender, and I even put a little bit of garlic, pepper, salt on it to give it an extra flavor boost. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was delicious, and so did my mom. I asked her if she wanted diet soda. She said yes, so I went off to get some. I came back with it, and we had that together. Our family friend decided to split one with me so I could have the other half. Very nice. And then I decided to spend that time between after eating and before going to work doing a Robert Monroe meditation. So I did that for a good, I would say like an hour. No, sorry, 36 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I did that for like 36 minutes. It was really, really good. Very relaxed, very calm. Uh, I think I started to see silhouettes behind my closed eyes, but I can't be 100% sure. But this was about like wave 2, the entry tape for Focus 12. It was pretty compelling, I would say. At least I felt very deep in the state of relaxation, which was very nice. And then after that, it was time for me to get dressed and ready to go to work. So I went to work. Before leaving, I made sure to mix up a electrolyte and salt with water cocktail in my tin that I drink with. And then I said goodnight, or sorry, not goodnight, goodbye to my mom, my sister, and our family friend. I told all three that I loved them. I went in my car. I drove off to work. When I arrived at work, I greeted my coworkers. I punched in. I went upstairs. I put my water canister in the freezer, and I even brought some hard-boiled eggs with me that were leftovers from the meal we had in the afternoon in the fridge for lunch. So I went downstairs. I put on my sweeping vest. I alternated between bagging. Once it was clear, the coast was clear up in the front. I swept the produce, the break room, the store floor. Had some fun interactions with coworkers. Did a little fist bump and yeah, it was pretty cool. And then after that, I remember, yeah, I was like sweeping. There was like a egg in a vent. I was asked by a customer to take it out, so I did. Felt like someone hawked a loogie in there, so I felt all gross like touching it. So I immediately threw away the paper towel that wiped it all up, and then I washed my hands with really hot water and soap. And I scrubbed real hard, and I made sure to put some sanitizer on my hand just for good measure. Yeah, it was disgusting. And then I continued sweeping for a while before being called back in to bag once again. So I did that. then I was asked to refill bags up in the check stand, so I went in the back. I grabbed all the bags I could. I went up to the front. I filled them all in. I was told about this. Well, actually, what happened was I asked for my first break. I was told that I had to wait for a coworker to come back. So I bagged for a while, and after I bagged for a while, I asked for my break again. I said yes. They said yes, so I went upstairs. I took the break. I greeted a coworker, and then we both looked at the schedule. I took a picture of the schedule for next week. It's only 30 hours, so I'm going to have to watch how I spend for a while, because that's $100 less for next week. And then went downstairs. After my break was over, I was trying to do research on finding a good replacement for my phone cover, because my old one's starting to get all ripped apart and stuff. I guess they don't make it out of strong material. So yeah, went back down. I was told there was like a water leak, so I went over. I was shown it. I dried it up. I threw it away, and then I took out the trashes, front end, bathrooms, break room, bathrooms, janitors, receiving, produce. Yeah, that was all ready to go. I threw it half of it before my timer went off, telling me it was time for lunch. Of course, throughout the whole day, I've been punching in my sweeps on time. And then I went out. I closed the receiver door. I punched in for my sweeps. I went upstairs, and I had my eggs, and they were pretty good. I had a packet of mustard that I put on the egg. You'd think that would be gross or weird, but it was surprisingly pretty good. Reason being, I didn't have any salt to put on the egg, so I had to use what I had, and mustard's pretty tangy, so it fit the bill, and it was actually surprisingly really good. So yeah, lunch was nice. I ate all of that, and yeah, I remember watching like videos of like this guy reacting to like Xbox announcing that they're holding on to physical media, but I think like that's unverified right now. We don't really know if they are or not. It was just someone coming up with the idea of what it would be like if they did announce that. It would be pretty wild. So yeah. Then I went downstairs. I punched back in. I finished taking out the trashes. I brought more bags up at the front. I filled up the check stands with those bags. And then I helped bag, and then I would wipe down all the check stands. And then me and a coworker got in some fun conversations. I was able to sing that whole Education Connection song with them. That was pretty fun, cool. My co-closer brought in the carts and the signs. I was very grateful for that. Then we came across this guy who's like a director for like a WWE movie or a documentary, and so we were like, "Oh, that's really cool. Hey, keep it up. We want to see that. That would be fun." And so yeah, pretty cool. Um, and then there was like another guy saying like he believed he got like a publisher deal, but we were like, "Ooh, be careful! It might be AI that's doing it." So yeah, and then yeah, I closed the produce blinds. I did it one final sweep before punching in my last sweep. I wiped down check stand 4. I said goodnight to my coworkers and my co-manager, who's a new manager tonight. Not any of the usual managers I close with. So it was a pretty interesting experience. Yeah, it was cool. It was really chill. I liked him. And then after that, I punched out. I went upstairs. I grabbed my notebook because I forgot it from yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I think. No, it was yesterday. Yeah, I went back down. I gave a fist bump to my co-closing manager, and then I went outside. I remember before leaving, I was telling one of my coworkers about like a website um, that you can watch Severance on Apple TV Plus because I was introducing them to the show, and they were like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, well, here's where you can watch it." I'm like, "Oh, wow, that looks interesting," you know. Yeah, because the coworker heard of it, but they didn't know where they could see it, so I showed them where they could watch it. So yeah, cool. Went in my car, drove off, arrived home, was hungry, ate a hot dog wrapped in bologna, ate a bunch of strawberries with aspartame or aspartame, I guess. Had a protein shake, um, and then I was like using the new ChatGPT voice mode just to see how it worked. It's pretty interesting because like it could change the conversation dynamically on demand. But now they've introduced ads into the program, which weren't there before, so that's kind of annoying. Originally, they were badgering you to buy their subscription tier, but now they're just putting ads in their service. So yeah, it's pretty annoying. You can select to get rid of the ad, but and they give you a wide range of selections, and one's like too personal, so I selected that one as a joke, and hopefully that would like be enough to get it away. Yeah, I had a long conversation with them about like translating audio, it doing a decent job, and then trying to get it to sing the SpongeBob theme song, and I wasn't able to do it quite that well. And then, uh, yeah, just yeah, that was about it. As I had to record this video, and that's pretty much the day. I'm gonna go take my vitamins and brush my teeth and go to bed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.